Manchester United were pretty awful against Tottenham Hotspur today, weren't we? For about 70 minutes of that game, starting with David De Gea in goal. Yes, he may have conceded two, but he made quite a few decent saves. I'm going to give De Gea a 7. I think it could have been a mauling if De Gea wasn't in goal. He got surprised they only scored two. Eric Bailly at right back, I've given him a 6.5. I think Bailly showed himself up as a good right back today. To a point. He's clearly a better centre-back. But I think Bailly today was pushed out wide in order for Jose Mourinho to see how Phil Jones and Chris Smalling got on in the middle of the park at centre-back. And let's be honest, they were both trash. I've given them both a 4, and I think a 4 may be generous. Both Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, England internationals. Earlier this season, prior to his injury, Phil Jones was excellent. Couldn't have been further from that performance today against Spurs. Jones and Smalling really need to do something in the next couple of games to show Jose Mourinho they deserve to start in that Europa League final. Because with Eric Bailly banned, one of them is going to start alongside one of them is going to start alongside Daley Blind. And according to that performance, I'd rather have Axel Tuanzebe play there. Left back, Daley Blind, I'm giving him a 5. I don't think Blind did too much today, in honestly, defence or attack really. A couple of his crosses were decent, but overall we didn't have any threat down the left-hand side in terms of what Blind was doing. It all came from Anthony Martial. That's what I think anyway. In midfield, Michael Carrick and Wayne Rooney. Michael Carrick and Wayne Rooney playing in midfield for Manchester United in 2017. Can you believe it? Carrick, up until that pass at the end to Marcus Rashford, was just invisible. Back at his old club, last game at White Hart Lane, the sort of match where you need someone like Carrick to take a real stranglehold in it. Had no grip on the game at all, and neither did Wayne Rooney. I've given them both a 4, and I feel I could have been harsher on Rooney, but he did score, so I'm giving him a little bit more. Wayne Rooney, in the last 3 games now, Swansea, Arsenal and Spurs, has shown me exactly why I'm right. The fact that Manchester United need to move on in the future now without Wayne Rooney. He needs to leave the club this summer. He is past it. It's painful to watch him now. It was a painful performance for 70 minutes until the subs came on, Herrera and Mkhitaryan, and they changed the game. But Rooney is not part of our future. Another awful performance from him today. Why Mata? Giving him a bit of a 5. I'm not sure Mata was really in the game that much. With Spurs dominating the match, controlling possession, a player like Mata never really had enough time on the ball to influence the game as much as he would have wanted to. What we did do was get the ball to Martial as quickly as possible, because Mata, it was too congested in the middle. We couldn't get the ball to Mata in time for him to make a difference. And Axel Tuanzebe, I've given him a 6. I think it was a much harder game for him today. He was tasked with man marking Christian Eriksen. Did he do a good job? He didn't do as good a job as Ander Herrera on Eden Hazard at Old Trafford a few weeks ago, but Tuanzebe did a job today. It's a different spectrum of football in the Premier League that he needs to get to grips with. And I think there are plenty of other players there that didn't do themselves anywhere near as much justice as he did. So fair play to you. Jesse Lingard, I think I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think, like Mata, Lingard wasn't in the game anywhere near enough today. Everything we were doing, we were spearheading towards Anthony Martial because he was the man making a difference. But Jesse Lingard, again, when he did have his chance on the edge of the box, his finishing was poor. Tough chance rolling across his body. Not going to criticise him too much for that. But in a game like this, you need Lingard, just like it did at Chelsea. We need Lingard and Martial to both be making a difference in attack. And for me, it was only Martial who did that today. Martial, I've given a 7.5. It was a really hard game for Martial today. Lone attacking role, very isolated, no support from the midfield. The balls are coming over the top from the defence into Martial, and we were expecting him to do something with it. And this is up against Vertonghen, Alderweireld, a very, very strong defence. It's one of the best defences I think it is actually the best defence in the league. In 18 games prior to today, Spurs have won 16 and drawn 2. Hadn't lost at White Hart Lane this season. You can see why. And Martial had a really hard time of it. But he had a couple of excellent chances. He made the goal for Rooney. And I think Martial, for me, is the player that comes out with real stripes from today. Now, Ander Herrera and Mkhitaryan, I'm giving them both a 6. I think both of them made a real difference when they came off the bench. And lo and behold, when you play your better players, you start playing better football. That definitely happened when Herrera came on. my God, how much do we miss him and his movement and his intensity in midfield when he doesn't play, which only gets exacerbated if it's actually Carrick and Rooney who play there instead. Two slow players. And Rashford to come on at the end, I'm going to give him a 5.5. That chance at the end, I knew Rashford was going to get one chance. A wonderful ball by Carrick. Definitely his best contribution to the game. But Rashford couldn't finish it. He was getting hounded down by Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and I think Trippier as well. Tough match for him when he came on. Didn't have much of a sniff, and he nearly did it at the end there, but he didn't quite get it. That is it for my player ratings. Let's read a few of your comments out here. First, Lingard was crap. Says Ronak, as I said, Lingard didn't do enough today. Martial was poor in the first half. He is not centre forward, does not know how to make a movement. Says Extreme. Disagreeing with you there. I think Martial, when he had the opportunity to do something in the first half, he did something in the first half. He was the only player who could find some space with the balls coming over. We were expecting him to do everything on his own, and he can't do that unless you're like Ronaldo or Messi. But even then, it's difficult. Martial did a good job today. He did as much as he could, I feel. Yes, his finishing could have been a little bit better. Yeah, we could have expected miracles from him. But he was isolated against the best defence in the league. When Man United were getting pummeled, and it was the last game of White Hart Lane, there's a lot of context which builds into that performance. I think Martial did very, very well today. And I want to see more of him up front. But that is it for today's player ratings. Let me know who your man of the match was. For me today, it's Anthony Martial. Anybody else you think can get close to that, let me know in the comments below. If you are new, make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. It's by clicking the subscribe button down just below the video. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy, everybody.